Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? Uh, so part of the these opinions are all mine, obviously, but part of the human experience to me is learning every day, learning as you go, and trying to improve from yesterday to today, and from today till tomorrow. Extracting the lessons of today and using them tomorrow. And it seems to me that the from my personal experience in my life and people around me, the people that are least satisfied or the most dissatisfied are the people that are least willing to make the changes necessary in their own life. Um, but I can give you an example. um, for as long as I can remember, my mouth has got me in trouble. Um, from my childhood, middle school, high school, work, uh, friends, relationships, things like that. Very short fuse, very hot headed, very temperamental. And any thought that crossed my mind came out my mouth. I just didn't have any sort of self control when it came to my actions. I was very childish or immature, very low level thinking also. But yeah, I let my mouth get me in trouble. And, you know, as human beings, the people that we hurt the most are the people that are closest to us, the people we're most comfortable with. So the people that I hurt with my mouth were, especially as I got older, were very often the people that cared about me the most and the people that I cared the most about. Um, and being able to reflect on that is painful because I hurt the people that I care about the most and the people that care about me the most. Um, Less with my actions and more with my words, but it's still painful for them to go through the things that I said, um, or even things that I did, because it was behavior too. But um, being able to learn from that has been very beneficial to me. Being able to reflect on myself and look inward instead of outward to solve my problems. Once I stopped looking at the outside world as being the cause of my issues and started looking internally, particularly my mouth. Once I was able to get that mostly under control. I still have my moments. I'm not perfect. I'm walking in a direction of perfection. I'm not actually perfect, never will be, and I don't claim to be, and I don't want to be. How boring of a life would that be to be a perfect human being, you know? Um, I like learning. I like fixing mistakes. I like working on myself. Um, Unfortunately, I spent so many years at the bottom of a bottle and I didn't see it that way. So I started that process late. But I'm happy to do it now. I'm happy to be working on myself and finding answers and looking and seeking the truth, not necessarily about the world around me, but the world inside of me. And um, the very mouth that used to get me in so much trouble because it was so quick and sharp is now the mouth that is getting me in trouble for the opposite reason. I'm not using it. Very often I get very quiet now when faced with certain situations and circumstances. I try to listen my way through things and solve the riddle, solve the problem in my head. And now my mouth is getting me in trouble in the opposite fashion, is that I'm not speaking up, I'm not speaking my mind. And people are taking my silence as complacency or who knows. I can't read other people's minds, but I've started to notice that swing, that shift of my mouth used to get me in trouble because I let every thought that went through my mind pass over my tongue, and now I hold everything back to the degree a degree of silence that most people can't handle. Most people expect and anticipate verbal reactions in some form or fashion, and now that I keep that to myself, I think that also throws people through a loop that they're not able to handle. Silence isn't for everybody. So I'm finding that balance. I'm learning every single day that goes by. Like I said, I wish I would have started my process sooner, but here I am. You know, I'm working on it, figuring it out, and I'm happy to do so. But yeah, it's funny how my mouth got me in so much trouble for so many years, um, that now it's still a case, but in the opposite manner. So finding that middle ground is what I'm looking for, and I enjoy the challenge of it. I enjoy solving problems and working on things. So it's a good problem to have. I think is finding that balance and finding that medium. Um, and like I said, that's part of the learning process. You start on one side of the spectrum, and then sometimes you go too far to the other side, and then you find your way back to the middle. People are in car accidents every day because they overcorrect. So it looks like at this point in my life, I went from having a I talk too much problem to I don't speak my mind enough. So yeah, I overcorrected, but that's a good tool. It's a good boundary. I found that boundary now. I know what those boundaries are on both ends. So now I can find the medium ground, and I'm excited to do so. And I'm bringing a lot of life experience with me to that middle ground. So anyway, yeah, this one turned out to be a little longer than I thought, but yeah, just want to share that with you guys. My mouth has been my problem, and I'm working on finding that middle ground. So yeah, appreciate you all for coming along.